Man who never answered too quickly. A story about deep thinking that could change your life. Before we begin today's inspiring story, welcome to Thinking Deeply Now. If you enjoy stories that make you wiser, help you think differently, and teach valuable life lessons, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Thinking Deeply Now, and follow us on TikTok for more daily wisdom and motivation. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy today's story. There was once a small village hidden between green mountains and quiet rivers. The people there were farmers, traders, and craftsmen who lived simple lives. But what made the village famous was not its beauty. It was an old man named Elias. He wasn't rich. He didn't own large lands. He had no army or political power. Yet people traveled for days just to ask him for advice. What made him so special? He had one unusual habit. He never answered immediately. Whenever someone asked him an important question, he would sit silently for a few moments, looking at the ground or the sky, as if searching for something invisible. Some admired his patience. Others thought he was simply too old and too slow. One afternoon, a young merchant arrived after hearing stories about the wise old man. He bowed respectfully and asked, "Master Elias, people say you're the wisest man in the region, but I don't understand one thing. Why do you always wait before answering? If you already know the answer, why not say it right away?" The old man smiled but didn't respond. Instead, he walked to a nearby well and filled a glass with water. Then he scooped a handful of dirt into it and stirred until the water became muddy. He handed the glass to the merchant. "Drink." The young man frowned. "How could I? It's full of mud." The old man placed the glass on a wooden table and quietly said, "Then wait." For several minutes, neither of them spoke. Slowly, the dirt sank to the bottom and the water became crystal clear. The old man picked up the same glass and offered it again. The merchant drank it with ease. Elias smiled gently. The human mind is exactly like this water. When anger, fear, excitement, or pride stirs it, everything becomes cloudy. If you make decisions at that moment, you risk making mistakes. But if you allow your thoughts to settle, clarity appears. The merchant stood in silence. For the first time, he understood that wisdom was not about knowing more. It was about thinking better. A few days later, the entire village gathered around Elias's house. Two brothers were arguing over land left behind by their late father. The older brother shouted, "It belongs to me." The younger one insisted, "No, father promised it to both of us." The crowd demanded an immediate judgment, but Elias simply listened. He asked questions. He observed their expressions. Then he surprised everyone by saying, "Come back tomorrow." Some people whispered, "He doesn't know the answer." Others laughed. But that evening, Elias quietly visited the land himself. He examined old boundary stones hidden under the grass. He spoke with elderly neighbors. He remembered conversations he had shared with the brother's father many years before. The next morning, both brothers returned. Elias explained his decision carefully, dividing the property in a way that honored both fairness and their father's wishes. To everyone's surprise, neither brother argued. Both accepted the judgment. A young boy watching the scene ran up to him afterward and asked, "Grandfather Elias, how do you always make the right decisions?" The old man looked toward the sunrise and answered, "Most people think before they speak for only a few seconds. The wise think before they speak, before they judge, and before they act." Years later, when Elias passed away, the villagers carved just one sentence onto a stone near his favorite tree. Clear water reflects the truth only after the mud has settled. So does the human mind. And for generations, parents brought their children to read those words, reminding them that in a noisy world full of quick reactions, the greatest strength is often the ability to pause, reflect, and think deeply. Moral of the story: think before you speak. Don't let emotions control your decisions. Patience creates clarity. The best solutions often come after careful reflection. Wisdom is not about being the fastest, it is about being the most thoughtful. The loudest voice is not always the wisest. Sometimes the strongest mind is the one willing to stay silent until it understands. If this story inspired you or made you reflect on your own life, don't keep it to yourself. Subscribe to Thinking Deeply Now on YouTube for more powerful stories, life lessons, and deep thinking content. And don't forget to follow us on TikTok, where we share daily wisdom, MO.